Hi, this is George. This was a background that I created um, and a couple of days ago. And what I do is I create the background, and then after a couple of days, I'll go back to it and kind of fill out what I'm going to do with it. And the other one I did in a previous video, along with this one, was this one. And again, I'm going to let this percolate in my brain and some contrast and eventually get back to it. But this is one I'm going to be using today. So the background was created by a combination of watercolor, Winsor Newton 24 pan, half pan watercolor, as well as my Caran d'Ache, which is my 15 set of water-soluble crayons. But now I'm going to, in this video, I'm going to be using my mechanical pencil, my kneaded eraser coat to go over the pencil marks that I want to get rid of, and the kneaded eraser is great because it doesn't damage your paper and it doesn't leave any residue behind. And I'm going to be using my Staedtler 8 pigment liner set. It comes with 8 point sizes, and I tend to use the 10, 7, 5, and 3 points because they have varying point size, and it gives you a visual uniqueness and variety. And I'm also going to be using a template, but for the circles. But if you have like anything round, you can use it as well. And everything that I'm using will be in the description below, down there. So let's get started. Now, normally, if I were to go in with the intent of doing my neurographic lines, I will start with a pen and randomly map out the various lines. But in this one, I'm going to follow the lines that were created by the watercolor mixing together and drying out. So let's start with a couple of okay. And this is a mechanical pencil, but if you want to use something else like a number 2, go for it. And trained up the size a little bit. And like I said, if you have something round, you can use it as well. So I'm going to have some circle action. And it's really big, so, and excuse my hand as I go about drawing. So let's see. Let's go with a couple of free-form circles to basically even out the shapes. Okay, now you probably can't see it too well on the video, but I can see it, and as I progress with drawing in the lines, they'll become a bit more apparent. So I'm going to use I was going to use my 0.7, but I'm going to start out using my 1.0 because it's thicker and has a darker weight. So don't worry about anything because this is kind of wonky. That's fine. Don't worry about following your pencil marks to the letter. Nobody will know when you're done. Let's go with big one here. Now I'm filming this when it's like 6:30 in the morning, and by the time I'm done, the light is going to be a bit more brighter. But right now, it's kind of a couple of minutes before sunrise. So if you notice a change in the lightness, that's why. I sometimes will film at night where the only light is from my ring light up there. But I have some errands that I need to do, like uploading a couple of videos that are done. I chose circles because, one, I like them. And it's also a practice for me because circles are kind of difficult to pull off. So you can rearrange the orientation, like a portrait, landscape, turn it upside down. Well, actually, this is kind of cool. But let's go with, yeah, let's go with this one. So, as I was saying, normally when I do the neurographic lines, I will randomly go in from one corner and kind of that way, without too much thought. But since the background has a lot of lines going on by itself, I'm going to incorporate some of the lines, like here, following the movement of the drying paint. And you can do as many or as few as you want. It's all up to you. And you can have, as like I said, you can have as many lines as you want, and you can also use any geometrical shape. So see the point here and the point here. Normally, well, as an option, you can continue the arch and the circle, but I think I'm going to let that behind by itself, kind of disjointed, but I think it's going to work. Before I use my kneaded eraser, I'm going to give it a longer wait. Although the settler dries really quick, but I don't want to accidentally smear any of the ink, so I'll be back. Okay, let's go in with the eraser. And if you don't get all the lines, that's okay. Don't sweat it. I noticed over here that this line doesn't connect with this one, but why don't we try to kind of offsets it. A little bit more drama, as it were. So I'm going to go in with my 0.7 to start rounding out some areas. And rounding out is basically when one line comes together to form a corner, round out the edge. So like this and like that. The good thing about this technique is it's really relaxing as you try to connect everything together. And the more shapes that connect, the more rounding you have the ability or opportunity to round out. And when you need to rearrange or move your paper, go for it. That's why I'm not taping it to my silicone mat, because it's easier to just move it without the mat. So if I making you dizzy, I apologize for that. Some of this will be sped up, so the video isn't too long. And every so often, you may have to, or not, depending upon what you want to do, is add more lines, like here. Just add some more lines to get it a little bit more visual interest. And if you want to have an area that has larger rounding, you can do that as well. For example, I'm going to really have a large space here, but if you do that, you might want to use a larger nib, like the 1.0, because it'll save your pens the point, because the surface here is kind of rough, and you wanted to baby your pens a little bit and not over exert them if you don't have to. Now you can do this with the white of the paper and then do the watercolor after, but sometimes it's kind of cool to do the opposite. You do you. And maybe switch it up a little bit. Remember, this is your piece of artwork and you can do whatever you want. I'm just offering you some suggestions or ideas. I'm going to go in with my number 1.0. Because I ended up filling a larger space. Now, I may have drawn out a little bit more circles than I needed to, because it's kind of starting to get a little bit busy, but who knows? Again, you can do whatever you want. So if I do it again, maybe not as many circles. And a couple there. So if you like the video and you want to be notified if when I do another video, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified when I do another video. They may be different because I like to do different techniques, but that's okay because everyone does art differently. Okay, let's go a little crazy. Okay, adding shapes as you go along to create more balance. Okay, this is kind of lonely, so let's do that. And you don't know what's going to happen until you do it. Just have fun doing it. Because if you don't like it, don't do it the next time. which go in and sign. So how do you like it? I hope you enjoyed today and got inspired to play around with your neurographic art. And I will see you in the next video. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be creative along the way. Bye.